I just helped this player, and this player completely transform their defense in Madden 26 by simply implementing one of the top 3 defensive playbooks of their game. Whether you're struggling to get stopped on defense or you can't affect the quarterback with any sacks, this is going to be the perfect video for you because I'm going through everything that you're going to need to dominate on defense, so don't skip out on any of the playbooks. Let's jump right into it. The first play I want to show you is the best pro defense right now in Madden 26 that won Drini the $250,000 first place prize in the Madden Bowl. Let me break down the Jaguars defense. All right, the defense is so good here from this Jaguars playbook. It's going to be dime 3-2. You're going to turn auto flip off. You're going to come into cover 4 quarters. Now, this blitz isn't great in practice mode, which is why I'm in a game here. But all you have to do, take this linebacker, move him over. Now, what you're going to notice sometimes if you do this is he'll move back. So really what you need to do to get him to stay is bump him just like that. Now he will stay, and now you can use the other linebacker, Lloyd. You're going to stand right here, and you're going to pass him in by pressing RB and right stick up. And now when they go to take the snap, what you're going to notice is that man's going to have a great chance, not every time, to loop all the way around the offensive line and affect the quarterback. That's why a lot of these pro players love this defense, because essentially you're able to get that looping pressure from only a 4-man rush. A 4-man rush should never just walk in the backfield and loop around, and it also makes it really hard for the offense to actually be able to step up in the pocket and make reads down the field. So we're gonna go with it again. Boom, take the snap, he loops around. This time he gets picked up, but that's why you have sticky match coverage on the back end to be able to take stuff away. So pretty simple. Dime 3-2, cover 4 quarters, auto flip off, drag that looping linebacker over. But that's not really what makes this really overpowered, right? It's actually the automatic run defense, because as we know, this defense, dime, right, there's 3 defensive linemen. So it's like if they just run inside zone, the lane's going to be right there for them. But really what you need to do is take this linebacker now and stand directly inside the butt of your defensive tackle, because now what you're going to notice is when they audible to like inside zone, for example, there's a flame icon over the head of your defensive tackle, which means he comes in completely clean for an easy tackle in the backfield. So we're going to go with it again right here. They're just going to call inside zone here, and we're going to call the same defense, cover 4 quarters. So really, you could set up the loop blitz, right? Boom, just like this. Right, you can set up the loop, and then you can just come stand directly inside the butt of your defensive tackle. Because now if they pass, right, now you're going to get that looping pressure. But if they run the ball, you're going to have automatic run defense. That's really if you don't know if they're running or passing. But they take the snap, and you're just going to see it again right there, where I press X on Xbox, square on PlayStation to dive tackle the ball carrier before he can speed boost away. I mean, like, literally, this is why dime 3-2, everyone wants to run it. Because it's like, we look at the offense's POV. Okay, if they were to pass the ball, this man would be looping around and trying to collapse the pocket and get a quarterback sack, right? But when they run the ball, it's like you just have automatic run defense. This man, I just come in completely clean, because essentially I'm standing inside the butt of him, which means that it's like the offensive line doesn't even really see me or recognize me. They let me come in clean, and then I dive tackle. This is really great against inside runs. So inside zone, base, like duo, a lot of those type of runs, it's going to be really good. And so now you have pass defense with a great blitz, and you have automatic run defense to stop basically every inside run in the game, which is what makes this defense so good. All right, so if you found that defensive breakdown of the Jaguars playbook helpful here in Madden 26, again, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 defense tips every single day for you guys, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full Jaguars defense, which just got updated last week, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. It goes through the full written breakdowns, the full videos, full screenshots, everything you're going to need to dominate on defense here from the Jaguars playbook. You don't want to miss out on anything in it. But let's jump right into those final 2 playbooks, because the next one I'm going to show you is a super underrated defense that I don't hear getting talked about enough right now. Let me show you what makes the Eagles playbook so good. All right, so first we're in the Eagles playbook. We're going to come into nickel 2-4 load mug. For this specific blitz, I know I tell you guys a lot to turn auto flip on. For this one though, we're going to turn auto flip off, because you want your slot corner to come out on the same side every time, regardless of what the offensive alignment is. That's what auto flip off will allow you to do. So we're just going to call the left pirate 3-man custom stunt. We're going to shift our defensive line to the left, and you just see how he moves over a little bit to give me room to stand directly over this center, just like this, and I'm going to user lock, or what I call turbo engaging, where you're going to press D-pad up, and then you're pressing right trigger and left stick down at the same time. Why does this work? Because now essentially you're going to run down into the center right off the snap. If you were to press right trigger and left stick down without pressing D-pad up, you would get called for offside. So it's very advantageous for you, but you have to press D-pad up to basically lock your user in place. So now we're going to take this snap, we're going to spam the A button, and we're going to be able to create a 4-on-3 advantage, or excuse me, a 3-on-2 advantage on the left side of the offensive line. Now, when they block the running back, he, can create really just level out the playing field a little bit, which I would say most of the time the running backs are going to struggle in path protection a good amount. But we go with it again, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, and then always pass commit. So press RB and then right stick up to pass commit your defense. That's going to make your blitzes and your stunts a whole lot better. But D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, take the snap, and you spam A to get off the block, and now you see how you have that edge rusher coming in free. Sometimes it's the edge rusher, sometimes it's another guy, but regardless of who it is, you get guys to come in free. That's really great. Again, if the running back were to block right here, he would step up to block him, but it's a defensive end against a running back. He should win that very quickly, right? Another great thing about this, though, is I'm back into coverage immediately. Because I'm spamming the A button on Xbox, X on PlayStation, I'm back into coverage, and now essentially the center is blocking nobody. By the time he gets off the block with me, the pressure, the job's already done for us. We've already done our job. So that's why it's really important, because you also notice if I set it up the same way by just pass committing without turbo engaging, what you're going to just notice is how they have 3-on-3. So now they're fine. Now, luckily for us, Jalen Carter's the best player in the game, but it's going to be a whole lot easier for them to pick it up if you don't turbo engage, if you don't user lock. So that's why I always recommend doing this. Gets you back into coverage really quickly, and then you're just able to see how that man comes in free off the edge, and then another guy ends up shedding. So kind of a simple defense. Again, only a 4-man rush, kind of like I showed you from cover 4 quarters in the last Jaguars defense, where you're able to get that really quick pressure because you're combining a stunt with user locking, which is going to make your blitzes a whole lot better. But if we also come into 4-3 even 6-1 here now, if you're going to be running a different defense, turn auto flip back on. But we're going to come to 4-3 even 6-1, and we're going to be calling Sam Will blitz, because now we're going to be overload blitzing them. Where, on the last play, we were really technically still overload blitzing them, right? This is just going to be a different overload blitz. But what we're going to do here is we're going to shift our defensive line to the left. All right, we're going to shift our defensive line to the left. We're going to drop this man, Nolan Carter, out, we're going to drop him out to the flat. Now, you would like to have a pass coverage type of linebacker out there, certainly, just because you're about to D-pad switch stick onto him, but you're just going to blitz your user, and you're going to stand directly over the center like this. Okay, so as soon as they snap the ball, you're going to be trying to D-pad switch stick. So again, boom, take it, immediately D-pad switch stick, and now you see how that man comes in completely clean off of the edge, really, because you still have a numbers advantage, right? You're just dropping your man out. You're still blitzing 6 against 5, so you'd expect someone to come in free. If you wanted to, you could switch it. So if they if they start to catch on to you shifting left, you could shift right, and then now you would drop the other linebacker out. You would stand, right here, blitz this man, and now you would be pressing D-pad to the left. Also, you could probably drop this defensive end out right here, just because you don't really need him. You're already if you can get the attention of the center, right, you already have 3 guys on the side that have 2 blockers, so you're going to be fine. But what you're going to notice is snap, immediately press D-pad and then D-pad left, and then you just notice how right there, really 3 guys come in completely clean to go sack the quarterback. So really a night and day difference here. Just look at that. They let my user come in clean. They let 2 other guys come in clean. And so it's just going to be a huge problem for them. You're back into coverage. And that's why I say that time, that was only a 5-man blitz, right? Because you're dropping these 2 guys out. You're going to put him in a hard flat. You're going to put him in a hook curl right now. And now you have it just like this. Pass commit your defense to make your blitz better as always. They can even block their running back. It really doesn't matter, right? But boom, take the snap, immediately D-pad out there. That's what I'm talking about, where Nolan Smith steps up to block, he stepped up to block the edge rusher, but then he just gets pushed into the quarterback very quickly. So we look at the instant replay again. where boom, he comes in completely clean off the edge, push our way into the quarterback, and then we're just easily able to get a quick quarterback sack. So really the Eagles playbook, a great overload custom stunt blitz, but then also from a very good formation already, you have another really great overload blitz here from 4-3 even 6-1, making the Eagles playbook one that's super underrated and you might want to take a look at. All right, so if you found that defense helpful there from the Eagles playbook, go down below, hit that subscribe button. I'm the only one right now breaking down Madden 26 tips and tricks for you guys every single day. You don't want to miss out on any of the content I have, but you're not going to miss that final playbook. So let me show you what it is. And it's the best overall defensive playbook in the game right now for a reason. Everyone wants to run the Vikings, but let me show you the best formations and plays to use from it. All right, so really what's taking over right now here from the Vikings playbook is nickel 3-3 cub. We've talked about the man coverage variation of this blitz before because this is a really great blitzing formation. It really allows you to overload well. But now we're going to come into a more of a zone coverage blitz here because, you know, different people have different, you know, variations and different tendencies and different preferences. So we're going to run zone blitz. So all we're going to do is shift the D-line to the left. It's very similar to actually the man coverage version, but you're going to be doing it with zones now on the field. So you're going to shift the D-line left, you're going to blitz your user, and you're going to stand about 2 yards over the left shoulder of the center, kind of like where I am here. And then as always, RB and then right stick up to pass commit. Now, you're going to be overload blitzing them off of the left side of the offensive line right here. So you're going to immediately press D-pad out to the right to D-pad switch stick onto this hook curl. So you can set it up again, pass commit, and now we're going to take the snap, immediately D-pad switch stick, and now you have that overload blitz over there. The key with this is kind of like I showed you from Sam Will blitz from 4-3 even 6-1. You need to do it immediately. You see how I'm already switched before Jalen Hurts already has the ball. You see how Jalen Hurts has the ball? Like, I'm already over there before he touches it. So that's the key, because now essentially you're user rushing them while still being back into coverage. It's almost like you're using two players on one play. It's really kind of crazy how this kind of works. So now the guy that I started the play on, right, because it's really before the quarterback has the ball, he user rushes, he goes and blitzes, takes up the attention of the offensive line, and then I'm back into coverage right here onto the outside linebacker. The key with this, making sure you have a guy who can actually lurk, who can play pass defense. That's going to certainly help you out here, but being able to lurk over the middle of the field is going to be extremely valuable. You can also put like hard flats in the field if you wanted to make your coverage better, but it's like, this is the key, standing in the right spot, D-pad switching right off the snap, and it's going to be very beneficial for you. Now, even if they block their running back, it's again what I tell you guys all the time, running backs, they have a tough time at the point of attack versus outside linebackers, defensive ends. So we take a snap, immediately D-pad switch. You know, Saquon Barkley steps up to block, one of the strongest running backs in the game, right? But he just gets absolutely destroyed in run blocking right here, or excuse me, pass blocking. Guy comes in free because we're playing 4-on-3 on this side. He comes in clean. Saquon makes it 4-on-4, but then he just gets easily swim moved, and then we have the quarterback on the ground because this side of the offensive line is double teaming. I've lapped it up. It's even hard to slide protect and do a lot of different pass protections versus this blitz. So really, when you set it up correctly, the zone variation, it's going to be very beneficial for you because now you're not in man coverage, which can be susceptible to those quick passes or big plays. But let me show you another great defense from the Vikings playbook. Because now if we come into mid blitz here from nickel double mug, you're going to be able to stop the run instantly. Kind of like I showed you from the Jaguars defense, right? Mid blitz, it's not the worst run defense in the world, right? Because really you have 6 guys over the line of scrimmage, but normally there's just a lane for them to run through. And as we know, you let guys get to the second level of your defense, that can typically spell bad things for you, right? A guy like Saquon Barkley who can speed boost right out of handoffs, right? You give him a lane and he can really just take it a mile, right? Boom, take it, and now he's in the clear. And so you're just ripping off huge gains. So mid blitz by default isn't exactly the best run defense, but really what you can do is just retarget their offensive line. So you see how there's no flame icons over the top of any of these guys anywhere in the field, but as soon as I move my user over top of the center, that creates the flame icon. Now, when you're on defense, you're not going to see the flame icon, but you just have to trust it with your preparation, your lab, and know that when you come out in this defensive look, you stand in the correct spot. If the offense looks at their player, there's a flame icon over his head, which now means he comes in completely clean and you're just able to dive tackle him in the backfield before he has anywhere to go. Just like from the Jaguars defense, you want to make sure you're pressing X on Xbox, square on PlayStation to dive tackle and cut out the legs of the ball carrier really before he has anywhere to go. Literally one of the easiest run defenses in the game because, again, they just have nowhere to go. You don't allow them to speed boost. So literally as soon as Saquon or any ball carrier touches the ball, he's already on the ground and he's already tackled. So, I mean, it's kind of simple here, just moving over the center, retargeting the offensive line. And the best part is they can't really move this flame icon because even if they like reset, you see how now the flame icon's still going to be there, right? If they try to move it over here, that puts 2 flame icons. They try to move it over here, now there's 3. And so now if they take the snap, the whole team comes in the backfield, right? So there's really no good answer for them as far as continuing to run the ball against this particular defense, especially when you just move your user over. They're going to have to resort to more outside zone runs and more outside runs because they're just going to get stopped in the backfield every time, and you're not even allowing them to speed boost. But really, that's what makes the Vikings playbook so good, having a crazy glitch blitz from Cub and automatic run defense from Double Mug. All right, so if you found any of those 3 defensive playbooks or formations, blitzes, coverages, if you found any of it helpful in this video, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down free content, tips, and tricks to get you guys better every single day. You don't want to miss out on anything I drop. But if you want my Vikings defense or my Jaguars defensive ebooks, you go to the link down below in the pinned comment, grab either one of them today. By using code YouTube, get 20% off. They go through the full videos, the full write-up, screenshots, everything you're going to need done in your defense, and I guarantee you'll transform the way you play defense. But if you want to see that Jaguars defense and a live-action gameplay against a real opponent, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.